Hello, Grade 11 Mindsetters. It's that time of the week. It's another Wiki Wednesday. And you know it's time for Life Sciences. I hope that you guys are ready and excited. And you're probably asking, how do I get ready for Mindset Learn? You need to make sure that you have the schedule for all the programs, as well as all study notes to help, make sure that you guys are in track with us so that you guys don't get left behind. But of course, I'm not alone. I'm with our awesome resident teacher, Mr. Llewellyn. How are you?
All right, and yourself, Doug?
I'm good. Are you as energetic today?
I can see you are giving it horns today.
Yeah,
that's in a good mood.
That's because I have to be very, very energetic.
Rubbish. Never. You must enjoy life. That's the whole point of it. Well, hello, everybody. Hope you guys all had a nice holiday. Well, I try to with all my work and giving it everything that I've got. But I'm ready. Hey, I'm ready, and hopefully you are. Now, this section is quite a interesting section. This is a very, 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 very important section, because without this section, we are buggered. We cannot do anything without this section. Now, a lot of you are going to say that plants, for instance, are boring. A lot of you are going to say plants are interesting, but must understand, without plants, we cannot survive. And think about it. We eat animals. If the animals disappear, we're in trouble. We'll go and eat plants. That's fine. But if plants disappear, the animals disappear, and that means we disappear. So can you understand where it's coming from? That's why plants are so important. So what I've done is I've brought in a couple of things. Now, the most important thing about plants at the moment that I can see, right, is leaves. Now, I'm going to grab this. Now, got to understand. Look at the size of that leaf, hey? How nice is that? What do you think, Knox? That's a nice leaf, eh?
It's a very, very big one.
Right? It's a lovely leaf. I think that is so beautiful. Now, the nicest thing about this thing, right? You can see it's a leaf, right? It's green, it's stunning, it's perfect. It's not a leaf. Can you believe that this thing here is actually a stem? Okay? That is a stem, even though it looks like a leaf. The leaf, if I can hopefully get some, wait, there it is. There we go. Hopefully you can see, it's tiny. It's the little thorns. That is the leaf. That is a modified leaf, right? Now, it does that because it wants to save water, right? But that's not the whole point of this. We are trying to find out certain things that we actually find in a stem as well, right? It's this green stuff. We need to find out about that green stuff. That is what we're actually doing in the show today. It's about photosynthesis, right?
What?
So you happy with that?
I'm so excited. I'm very happy. I hope that you guys have heard what Llewellyn has said. We're learning about photosynthesis. Do you have any questions? Do you have any sort of confusion? We are here to help you all the way. Make sure that you go into Facebook. That's www.facebook.com/learnextra. Or you can also visit us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @learnextra. If you want, you can also send us an email at helpdesk@learnextra.co.za. So we are here for you. We don't want you to be confused or to get lost in any way. Take it away, Llewellyn.
Cool. So now, let's get into the big part of this. Right. So this thing is a stem, and it goes through photosynthesis because it's green. Right. So if I have a look at it all over, little leaves are coming out because it's on the side. But the most important thing about this is that the stem is green. The stem has got the stuff called chlorophyll, right? Or chloroplasts in it. Right. So I'm going to move this aside, and I'm going to start showing you different parts. Or different leaves, should I say. This is a nice long leaf, right? It comes from a dicotyledonous plant. The reason why we know this, right? It's got parallel venation inside it, right? The veins run from the bottom all the way to the top in a long straight line as it goes on, right? They do ask you this. This is from a dicotyledonous plant, right? If I go to a monocotyledonous plant, there's one. Okay, you can see it's a net venation. It gets one long one main one, and the rest pop out from the sides, and the veins go all over the place, right? So that is a net, and that is a parallel, right? This one is a dicot, this one is a monocot, okay?
Llewellyn,
Yes, Knox.
how do we explain the two colors on the parallel leaf?
Nice. That's a very good question. We look at the leaves. Now, normally, if you go to a nursery, your mom and dad want to plant some beautiful flowers, and they go to the guy and they say, okay, well, I've got some open space, right? There's nothing in the way. They need this beautiful plant to grow, and it must take a lot of sunlight, right? And if it needs a lot of sunlight, it's going to be a certain color green. If it is in a shady area, it's got a different color green, right? So the lighter they are, normally is the more sun they can take. The darker they are is the less sun they can take, right? Now, I've got different leaves all over the place, so I'm going to show you all different colors. Now, one of also the main things that we can find is how they are situated or where they stand on the leaf, but we're going to get that now. I've just showed you parallel and net. Right, so move those across. It's nice and easy. Have a look at that. You were just talking about the different colors.
Yeah.
Look how nicely all the different colors are from here. Now, this leaf actually starts off as a very, very light green, right? All the green is the amount of chloroplasts inside there. Right, so very, very important. So this has got all different colors. It's got the light, it's got the dark, it's got the medium. So it can be in sunny areas and in shaded areas, right? So it can do everything. Okay, now have a look at this leaf. See? They all come in different shapes and sizes. Now, this is a leaf on its own. Now, is this one leaf or is, let me just have a look, this one leaf, that one, right? Or is this tiny piece, if I break it off, I don't know if you can see it.
They can't.
I'm going to try get it up. On my finger, right, over there, hopefully you can get it. That is that one leaf. So there's the 3 different things that I'm looking for. Now, you would know what the leaf is by, if you look inside by the stem, you will get this auxiliary bud. An auxiliary bud tells you whether it's the beginning of the leaf or if it's a whole leaf as one, right? So let me try and show you that. Auxiliary bud. There we go. I took a nice one there. Look at this. You see this big thing that comes out here? It's also leaves, also green. It's an auxiliary bud, right? This is where the leaf comes out. Okay, I'm just giving you an idea about leaves and how actually special they are. Right, so this one and this one is actually from the same plant. And look at the difference in colors already. It's just which one has been in the shade and which one's been in the sun. Which one has to have more chlorophyll to do more, to make more food. Right, okay, all the way. Now, look at this one. See, different leaves as well. Now, you would think that each and every one of these little things is a leaf, right? This part is not a leaf. This part is one leaf. Okay, this is the same as that. Okay, they're the exact same thing. This one starts as an auxiliary bud this side, this one auxiliary bud here. If I had an auxiliary bud between each and every one of these leaflets, then it would be, this would be a leaf, then this would be a leaf, then this would be a leaf. This is one complete leaf. What they've done is they've taken the margins and taken it out. Right, there's the next one. Now, have a look at the arrangement of these. Okay, I want to come to different arrangements now, right? Look at the arrangement of it. It's in a complete circle. Now, why do you think plants actually do that? Okay, there's one. It's a circle. I'm going to try and put it down here so you can actually see it. There's another one. Okay, look at the arrangement of it. Each one of these are individual leaves. Each and every one is an individual leaf. Remember, this one, this whole thing's a leaf. This one, individual things are leaves. Right. Let's go. This is a single leaf, also parallel venation. Okay. It's got little hooks on it to make sure that it gets protected. Okay. Let's see. I've got this. You've all seen this before, to be honest. This is the fern. We've spoken about the fern before. This is a single leaf, and each one of these little things, can you remember all of this? It's the rachis at the back. Okay. That's another leaf, but I'm going to put that aside. It's not the main thing I want to look at. What about this? Do you know that each and every one of these things are also leaves? Okay, this is leaf from a a gymnosperm, right? A cone-bearing plant, right? Now, these leaves can actually, each one of these little pins or little needles, they can last for 3 years on a plant, right? Where these ones, they fall off in the middle of winter. Okay, they fall off in the middle of winter. These ones last for 3 years. Now, the reason why they're so thin is they don't want to let all the water go in there and actually freeze up. So they put a lot of very, very thin needles so that it doesn't freeze up too easily. Right. Now, this is the one I wanted to show you. Have a look at how these are situated. Can you see that you can actually see every single leaf? If I do that, this has been in the car, so I need to make sure that it works. You could actually see every single leaf, can you? Okay, The reason for that is this plant is doing the best it possibly can to do the most photosynthesis. Right, so this leaf is not going to cover that one, because the minute it covers that one, how's it going to photosynthesize? So it moves to the side, and it actually gives every single leaf its own space so that it can get to the sun. Right, that is very important. Same with these. Look, you'll see every single leaf. Okay, look at these. You'll see every single leaf. Now, this one on a plant sticks up like that. This one on a plant sticks up like that. Right? This one, on the other hand, it lies flat. So it does that. If it stood up straight like this, it wouldn't have this type of venation. Okay? It wouldn't have the way that it's standing here. It would be more that type of thing. Right, so this is very important. Without these things, right, there's going to be a lot less photosynthesis taking place.
Llewellyn,
Okay? Yes, Knox?
there's a very, very interesting question. Kamani says that she would like to know what it is that give different plants different colors.
Oh, so she's looking at the different things inside the plant. So if you look at it, normally your different greens are going to come by your chloroplast, right? Then you're going to get things like tonoplasts, right? Now, that comes along when you have the chloroplast actually leaving, and then you're going to get your brown leaves, right? That happens in autumn, okay? Now, that's not the only thing. You get the different colors where you have red leaves. I'm sure you've all seen it. It normally comes out in Christmas time, hey, Knox?
Yeah.
I'm sure you get those, where you get those dark green leaves and then they've got this red leaf in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
That is for beauty, okay? It attracts things. That's a very important thing. Now, all that's got to do with hormones, okay? And when we go into the plant later on and in more detail, I will show you the different parts and I will explain to you how they all work, right? But at the moment, all we're worried about is the green. The green is the most important. Without this green, we cannot survive, as in myself and you. Okay, yes, Knox. Anything else? Any other last questions that we can hear?
There's Mukanyaledzi Omega. The question is, what are the factors that affect the rate of photosynthesis?
We're going to get to that. That is the important part. But I need to build up from photosynthesis first and show you what it's about, and then explain how the rate or what affects it. Right. Knox, any other last ones before I think we need to go for a break?
So far, that's all.
That's it.
Sure.
Okay. Now, before our little break, you've seen how nice and small our little leaves are. We go from this tiny little leaf, right, which is inside this part, right? And I think, which I'm sure I've got one in here somewhere, okay? And I think you need to see that you always get bigger leaves. Right.
That's a big leaf.
That is a big leaf, right? Now, these can photosynthesize quite nicely. Now, the nice thing about this leaf is I use this all the time to teach with, right? I get a new one every time. I know that you see it's torn, but they actually do. It's part of it. It tears very easily, okay? This is a banana tree. You've all seen them, okay? A banana tree gets nice big leaves, and banana trees you normally find in places like KwaZulu-Natal and Durban, right? So it's quite moist, right? So if I had to ever show you plant tissue, in here you would see xylem and phloem cells so clearly. It's quite easy. So if you want to go and study and do your plant tissues, make sure you try and get one of these and cut off the stem, and actually you can see the xylem and the phloem quite nicely. I'm going to try pull one off so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Let's see. There we go. Look how nice, hopefully you can zoom in quite nicely. Look how nice you can actually see the xylem and phloem vessels, right? So that's quite nice. Nice and simple. The bigger the leaf, the more you can see on it. Right, so what I want you guys to do is get a nice little stretch, right? So when you come back, I can start giving you facts and we can take it from there. Knox, all yours.
Wonderful. So guys, make sure that you join us after the break. Let's go to the bathroom. Let's go take a walk, 2 minutes, and make sure that you return after this. Welcome back from the ad break. I hope that you guys are freshened up and ready for today's show. One quick thing that I have to advise you guys with. When dealing with plants, you might want to make sure that all the time you learn the diagrams, you know the different parts, because it can sometimes get a bit too much because there are lots and lots of parts. So how I used to do it, I'd get a copy of a diagram and then make sure that I erase all the labels and go back home and try to relabel all the parts. And this way I make sure that I help myself during time for revision. Remember that if you want to interact with us, you can still go onto Facebook. That's www.facebook.com/learnextra. Or you can also go onto Twitter and we'll answer your questions. Our handle is @learnextra. Llewellyn, ready?
Thanks. Yes, no, definitely. Well, I hope you are like switch on, because as soon as Knox said triple W, I'm like, triple WW. Ah, there we go. Very simple. So now, to the leaf. Now that we can start talking and finding out things, let's get into the crux of the matter. We have done the leaf before. I'm sure you've done it in grade 10 or grade 9. You've learned a little bit about it, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick recap, and we're going to find out where we are. Right, so this is the structure of a leaf. Some people do not know what they're looking at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. That is what you're looking at, okay? That part is there. Let me just get some color here, because I know I haven't put color in here. Okay, this piece is this top piece here. This piece is this bottom piece here. So all of this is found in the middle. I mean, look how thick that is and look how thin that is, right? So in this thin little leaf, right, that is what we find. So let's have a look at it. First of all, right, we're going to get this layer right on the top. There it is, right? That is the cuticle. Now, a cuticle is very important. It's a waxy layer that goes over the top of the leaf, right? And when it's on the top of the leaf, it stops water loss, it does protection, it looks after the cells. It's a very important layer, right? Next one, you get the upper epidermal. This is a thin cell. If I had moved that down, it's a thin cell, very cuboidal. It's actually like a cuboidal cell, right? Very, very thin, and it's used just for the protection. It's the outermost layer. Okay, the next one are these cells over here. Now, these cells here contain the most important thing that we are looking for. They contain the chloroplast. These cells are your palisades. Now, if I had a look at palisade cells, let me get some green here. The palisade cells, they normally look like this. Now, you've all driven in a car, or you've all gone walking and you've had a look. You've noticed that you get palisade fencing, right? Now, your palisade fencing, it's little pellets that does this. Now, your palisade cells are identical to your palisade fencing, right? They're close together, and they've got the chloroplast. They're nice and long. If they're nice and long, it makes it nice and thick, and you can get as much chloroplast in there as possible. Okay, so this is the chloroplast cells that we're actually having a look at. You can see all the little dots inside here. Okay, those chloroplasts are what we need. Okay, then you're going to get this blue part over here. Now, you're going to get the two. You're going to get the ones with the big holes in, and you're going to get the ones with no holes in at all, but it looks like a solid part. That is your xylem and your phloem. We've spoken about xylem and phloem before. Remember, they are your connective tissue. Xylem and phloem. Phloem is for food. Xylem is for water, right? Those are the important. They're like your veins in your body, right? They're the ones that give the water and the food to all the plants. Those are the ones that I was showing you before the ad break. That's inside that big leaf that I brought out, right? It's inside there. Those are the important ones. So this is the vein. So I would take this piece here. You know, let me just try and tear it off. I always break things when I'm here with you guys so you can actually see, right? That piece there is that piece there. Can you see it? So when we had the leaf in the beginning, this was the leaf coming out here. Okay, this is the vein, that thick part that we need. Right, okay, now, we've got over here, we've got the intercellular air spaces, right? Makes the nice and fluffy, and then water can actually move in there, so that we've got transpiration pool, and we've got water coming up into the leaf so that photosynthesis can take place. Remember, water is very important for photosynthesis. And then we've got this important part over here, right? There, you will find these two big cells over here. They're called the guard cells, and they are on the stomata. Right? The stomata is where gaseous exchange takes place, where you take out water and you can take in carbon dioxide. Okay, that is the structure of a leaf. Okay, that is something that they are definitely going to ask you. They might not ask you to draw it, but they will ask you to label it. Right. Okay, so let's start going on. Okay, the key concepts. Okay, now, photosynthesis. This happens in any of the green part. Green, has to be green part, okay, of a plant, okay? Without that, we cannot survive. I know I keep saying this, but you've got to understand the importance of this, okay? That the animals that we eat the grass, and the grass photosynthesize. Photosynthesizing actually means making their own food. Okay, photosynthesize, synthesize is to make, and photo is light. So we're making something out of light, right? That is the key point. The two main things, light, right, and make. Now, if I have a look at this, okay, photosynthesis is the process whereby, if you read on the screen, where light is converted into chemical energy. Yeah, chemical energy. Now, chemical energy is, you will learn in science that energy doesn't change. Energy doesn't get made or destroyed. It just gets changed, right? So we need to take light or some type of energy, and we need to make it into an energy that we can use, right? So what plants have done, right, is they have divided, if I have a look at it, they have divided this energy that we're getting from the sun into energy that they can use. The first thing that they do is they take this, where is it? They take this water molecules. That's why they need water from the ground, right? They take the water, they take the carbon dioxide, there it is, carbon dioxide, and they put them together in the leaf, right? Then they need the sun, okay? If you put a plant into a dark room, it is going to die, right? It takes the sun, okay, and it actually takes the sun's energy and it makes it into sugar type of thing. Okay, that is the whole process. So what I've done is I've taken it and I've put it into a type of sum that you guys are going to learn. Okay, the first one, it's water, carbon dioxide. There it is. I just want to get a nice pen again. Yeah, water and carbon dioxide, right? They take the light and the chlorophyll and the enzymes inside there and they make glucose and oxygen. Plain, simple. That is the beginning part of photosynthesis. Right? You don't have to know it in too much detail, but that is it. I can make it difficult where I take H2O, forget about the 6 at the moment. We don't want to go into too much what's the name? If I take H2O, that is water, of course. Water, H2O, yes? And I take carbon dioxide. This is carbon dioxide. Do you see it? No. That is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is what we breathe out, and it can become poisonous to us, right? So, it is actually poisonous to us. But we take the carbon dioxide, we take the water, we take the sun up in the air, and we make this C6H12O6. That is strange. That is glucose, right? C6H12O6, and the plants give off oxygen. Guess what we use? Can you tell me what we use? We give carbon dioxide and we take it?
Oxygen.
Nice, right. So we use oxygen. So just think about it. We get rid of all the plants, right? If we get rid of all the plants and we start breathing out, how are we going to get oxygen?
By breathing in?
Oh, we can't. There's no oxygen. The plants, if we get rid of them all and we don't leave them there, if they can't make it in their oxygen, where are we going to get it from? We'll use all the oxygen and then we stuck. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think that's quite important because that sort of links with what you said before, that everything in the system depends on one another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, not only for food, but just think about oxygen. Okay? If you don't have oxygen, you are going to die. Okay? Plants are the most important things on earth. Without them, we can't get anywhere. They take carbon dioxide, they make oxygen. If they make oxygen, they make an ozone layer. If they make an ozone layer, we can survive. There we go. Nice and easy and simple. Right, so let's have a look. What else do I have here for you guys? What is this thing? Okay? This thing, this here, is the be-all and end-all of our whole process. Right? That is the chloroplast. You've learnt about this. You've learnt about it in a cell. You should know how to draw, how to label this thing like the back of your hand, right? So, let's have a look at it. Okay, it's got a double membrane. Stand still. It's got a double membrane. Okay, there it is. Double membrane. Okay, it's got this liquid on the inside here. Can you see all this liquid? Right? That is called, the stroma. Very easy. Okay, it's got a starch grain, but we just put that in there because it needs starch and needs energy and that. So we leave that out the way. It's not important at the moment. Then we've got this big thing here that looks like a couple of discs on top of each other, if I have a good look. Couple of discs on top of each other. It's called the granum. But now, do you know what each one of those little things are? But before we get there, you got the granum, and then you get these things that join these big things together. It's called the intergranum. Now, the granum, these things here, if I take it, it looks like that, am I right? That's what the granum looks like, roundabout. Okay, now if I took one of these things, there they are. It's called a thylakoid. Okay, that is the start of photosynthesis, that part there. Okay, so the start of photosynthesis happens in the thylakoid. Okay, so are you starting to get where I'm coming from? Okay, so let's have a look. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, photosynthesis happens in 2 stages. Okay, you get the light-dependent phase and you get the light-independent phase. Okay, now, if I have a look at this, light-dependent means it needs light. Light-independent means it doesn't need light. So, let me put it into us baby terms. I think it's the best way to put it. You get the light phase and you get the non-light phase. No, dark phase. So it's light phase, dark phase, light phase, dark phase, light phase, dark phase. Right. It's very simple. Now, if I look at the light phase, we need light. So it has to only happen, or it can only work during the day when the sun is shining. Huh? Yeah, you reckon with me?
True, yeah.
Cool. Now, the dark phase. When does the dark phase happen? Knox, can you tell me?
At night.
Close.
Come on.
Close, like this close, right? It happens during the day and the night.
The dark phase.
The dark phase. The dark phase happens at day and night. So let me just say that again. You get the light-dependent phase and you get the light-independent phase. I did not say that it only works during the day or it only works during the night. I said it either needs light or it doesn't. If it doesn't need light, can it still work in the light? Think about it. If it doesn't need light, can it still do its job whether the light is there or not? Of course it can. It doesn't need it. If it needs light, can it work in the dark? No, it needs light. Okay, so that's how this whole thing works. Let's have a look at it. Okay, we have the 2 systems, right? You get the light phase and you get the dark phase. Okay, now the light phase is one of the most important things. Okay, when it comes to the light phase, let's have a look at this. Yeah, I'm going to highlight it here nice and simple, right? We have the light phase, and this occurs on the thylakoids. Okay, and if I put all the thylakoids together, we normally do it all together, right? It's called the grana. Okay, so it happens on the grana, right, in the chloroplast, and this is the light phase. The best thing about this is, in the light phase, the chloroplast that contains chlorophyll, that is important. Chlorophyll, that is the chemical inside the chloroplast that actually does the making of whatever we need, right?
Llewellyn?
Yes.
Talking about the making of food, there's a question here from the table. The question is, can we measure the rate of photosynthesis?
Yes. We'll learn how to do that. I'm going to explain to you now how to do it and how we're going to do it, because you actually need to know experiments. And we can find out how fast it takes place or how slow it takes place by the amount of stuff that it gives off at the end. And what is the stuff that it gives off?
Food.
Oxygen. There we go.
Come on. Well, plants do give food.
Yes, plants make their food, but what do they give off? Oxygen. What do
Okay.
we need? We give off carbon dioxide. They give us oxygen.
Sure.
Nice. So we're getting there. Right. So chlorophyll, there it is. That is absorbed. Okay. The chlorophyll absorbs the light. So it says, come here, son. Come to me. I will use you. Right. Now, when we get there, some of the light energy is used to make ATP. Now, hold on a minute. Whoa. Slam on brakes. Okay. What is ATP? And how do we get ATP to get somewhere, and what is the point of it? Okay, ATP is very important in our bodies and plant, right? You get 2 types. So I'm going to go all the way down. There we go. Just to get rid of it, I want you to see a couple of things, right? You get ATP, right? And you get ADP. There's 2. Can you tell me the difference? Okay, I'll tell you the difference. Watch this. Both have A's, both have P's. One's got T and one's got D. That's the best difference ever. Okay, now, the A stands for adenosine. Okay, the P stands for phosphate, and the T and the D stand for how many phosphates we have. Okay, T for triplet, and D for diploid. Okay, so let's watch. Adenosine, triphosphate, adenosine diphosphate. Okay, what is the difference between the top one and the bottom one? Can you tell me now? Okay.
We should probably make that as a challenge question on Facebook.
Okay, so let's do that. But it's going to happen quick. You need to tell me in a few minutes. Right. Okay, there's definitely a difference. Okay, now, I'm going to explain how this works. Now, when you've got the one, actually, I need that answer, otherwise I can't explain. So maybe I should just send
Just give it away.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, it's very simple. Okay, this one is the carrier. Okay, he's very important. This one's a carrier. He's a taxi. Okay, adenosine diphosphate, that one, okay, if I can get it right. This one here is a carrier molecule. He's a taxi, okay? He's a taxi, and what that taxi does, okay, he's got to carry certain things around. This one is a taxi with a passenger. Okay, now, what it actually is, this one here has got an, it's got an extra something. Okay, now the bond between that extra something, do you know what that extra something is? What? Bicycle, tricycle, how's that? Okay, one has 2 phosphates and one has 3 phosphates. Okay, when it's got 2, it's a carrier. When it's got 3, it has already got energy. So what it actually is, it's got this molecule that is ADP, right? Then it's got energy all over the place. You got it, and then it's got a phosphate. So it's adenosine diphosphate plus a phosphate, and what joins the two? It is energy. You all got that? That is an energy rich. If I want that energy, what do? I break that phosphate away, and what gets released? Energy. That's what we use. Nice and simple, eh? I think
Nice
that's
and simple.
Nice
Wonderful.
way of looking at it. So let's go back.
Llewellyn,
Yes.
I think we should take an ad break quickly.
You think so?
Yes. Just so that we can refresh and so that we can get our own energy as
maybe
well.
we can do that. Give it a good stretch because we need to get going and nice and
Yeah.
strong and hard, right? So
Yeah.
keep it going, and I will see you in a couple of minutes.
Sure. See you guys after this. Hello, Mindsetters. Welcome back from the ad break. I hope that you guys are ready and excited to continue today. As you know, we are learning about photosynthesis for grade 11s. So make sure that you guys are taking down notes. Make sure that you have the schedule for the show as well. If you're wondering how you can get the schedule as well as the notes, please go onto our website. That's www.learnextra.co.za/live. That's where you can be able to make sure that you don't get lost when we talk and when Llewellyn teaches. Llewellyn?
Nice. Yes, so we're back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try rush through this so we can actually understand it nicely. So I've made it nice and simple. I'm trying to make it nice and simple. The light phase, okay, what happens in the light phase? We've got light from the sun coming in, right? Okay. Then we've got, listen carefully, we've got water, right? H2O, right? And we've got carbon dioxide, CO2. Okay, carbon dioxide. Those are the 3 things we need. Right. Now, the energy, right, the energy that comes along is there to split water. Very simple. It splits water, and that energy between these bonds, right, gets joined to ATP, okay, gets joined to ATP, and it gets sent to that way. So let's say ADP, I'm trying to write it as nice as I possibly can, gets plus a P, makes it ATP, gets sent that way. We're happy. The CO2 also goes that way. We don't care about him at the moment. What is left? Let's see. The hydrogen, okay? Hydrogen goes that direction. Why? Because we need it to make that molecule that we need. Remember that glucose molecule we need, okay? So the hydrogen of water goes that way. The carbon goes that way, right? What is left? The oxygen. What do we give off? Oxygen. So that's nice and easy, right? And where are all these things going? That's the most important part. That part there is called your dark phase, right? Your dark phase is very simple, right? Your dark phase, actually, it takes all the stuff and it makes your ATP. it doesn't need sunlight. It takes the carbon, okay? It takes the hydrogen, right? Are you with me so far? Carbon, hydrogen. Can you remember what the other one was? Okay, think about it. I want you to try and give it to me. I'm going to stop it there. I want to know what the molecular structure, okay, of a glucose molecule is. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. Can you write that down for me, Knox?
Sure, I'll do that on Facebook.
I've got it. I've got it nice and easy for you. So just make sure, I'm going to leave it there. This dark phase takes all the things and it puts it together. The best way we can look at it is as this is Pick and Pay. We get all our products from Pick and Pay. This is the bakery. That is where we make our stuff. Together, this is photosynthesis. It's nice, simple, it's actually easy. You don't have to go into that much detail. Right. Okay. Now, I think it's question time. Okay? I don't want to go into too much detail. I want to give you some questions. I want to try and make sure that you understand things. And the best way to understand is to ask questions. Okay, so let's have a look at it. Okay. Let me just get a nice big pen here. I like certain pens. Give the correct word or term for each of the following things. It's a word. Okay, so let's have a look at it. The light independent stage of photosynthesis. The light independent. Okay, dependent means I need it. Independent means I don't need it. So it is the dark phase. Independent, where it is, independent. Okay, so it is the dark phase. I'm just going to put DP so we can get there. Right, the dark phase. Remember, it doesn't need light. Next one, the green pigment found inside the chloroplasts. Okay, chloroplasts, remember, we find them in the leaves or the stems that I've shown you, right? It's a green pigment. Now, that green pigment that we found inside is called chlorophyll. Okay, chlorophyll. Okay, there it is. I'm going to put it there. It's chlorophyll. Very simple. Next one, the molecule that is important, the important carrier, the molecule that's an important carrier, okay, of energy in the cell. It's very simple. Now, what molecule carries energy? Okay, we have the ATP, and the ADP. We've got the two. Right. Which one is the carrier? Which one has the energy? That is the main thing. You guys are going to forget that. You're going to say, ATP, that's right. Full marks, wrong. Okay? ADP is the carrier. ATP has the energy. Okay? Don't forget that. And I know you would have got confused with that. Hey, Knox?
I would have. I would have.
I had to get used to it. Right. Now, let's have a look. Let's pull this down. The liquid inside the chloroplast, okay, the byproduct of, the liquid inside the chloroplast. Now, remember I said to you, the chloroplast starts like this, there it is, and then it's got these funny little things over here, and a funny little thing over there, and it joins in there, and another one over there, and another one over there, and it joins in there. Can you remember what this is? This is a chloroplast, okay? They want to know the liquid over here. Okay, can you remember what it is? Okay, it's very simple. It's the, I'm going to try write it over here. It's the stroma. Okay, hopefully you can see that writing because no matter how close I go, it doesn't want to write quite nicely. So it's the stroma. Okay, let's see. The byproduct of photosynthesis. Knox, what's the byproduct of photosynthesis?
We said it's oxygen.
Oxygen is the first one. Okay? Oxygen is the first one. It's a byproduct. It gets made. It is given off. What is the other thing that is made? What do we want to make?
Carbon dioxide.
No, carbon dioxide is taken in. Byproduct is what we make. Okay, so we got C6H12. What's the last word? Come. I know that you've got that answer for me already. Knox, have they given me the answer? Hey?
Glucose. Are you talking about the formula?
That's it. What was the formula?
It's, okay, so we have Kamani.
Yes.
And his answer is C6H12O6.
06. Very nice. Not 06.
Sorry,
06.
Yeah.
So it C6H12O6. This is your, what is that, Knox?
Glucose.
Glucose, very nice. C6H12O6, okay? That is it. And list the raw materials that photosynthesizes plants gets from the environment. What are the raw products? Okay? Water, carbon dioxide, and sunlight. Very nice. Okay, so we're getting there. You guys are doing quite nicely. Hopefully you're answering these quite carefully and quite, how do I say it, on the ball. You're getting it right. Okay, draw a fully labeled diagram of the apparatus that you would use in the investigation to find out which gas is needed for the process of photosynthesis. Now, what I'm going to do, I'll put this in here for one reason and for one reason only. Okay? I am not going to answer this question. This question is made for the next time you see me, because that question is going to come up. I'm going to do experiments. Right. So we're going to look at how to do photosynthesis, how we're going to improve photosynthesis, what we've got to do to test photosynthesis. And remember, somebody asked earlier, I don't know if you remember, Knox, the rate of the reaction,
Yes.
how to increase it, right? We are going to do it. That I can promise you. So I hope you've got this question down. It is in the notes, so make sure that you get it, right? And I'm going to make sure that you have it. Next one. This is the question that I quite like, right? What I've done is I've got a farmer, right? This farmer has got his roses. He's got beautiful roses, right? And he grows them in a greenhouse. Do you know what a greenhouse is? A greenhouse is not a house painted green, okay? A greenhouse is actually made of glass. It's where you keep all your plants and all your nice plants and your vegetables and that, okay? So the reason why they keep it in the greenhouse is they can actually stop the insects from going for it. They can monitor the temperature. They can monitor the type of water. They can monitor the minerals. They can monitor how hot it is, how much sun is there, everything. Okay, so he's got it in a greenhouse. Okay, and he wants to improve, let's see, should the farmer increase, look here, should the farmer increase or decrease the amount of carbon dioxide in the greenhouse if he wants the roses to grow better? Now, the first thing we're going to look at is, does carbon dioxide increase? If you increase the carbon dioxide or if you decrease the carbon dioxide, which improves the performance or the photosynthesis? The more the plant photosynthesizes, the bigger it becomes, the nicer it becomes. Okay, what does the plant need to photosynthesize? It needs carbon dioxide. So first of all, the first thing he must do, right? He needs to increase it. There we go. He has to increase it. If he doesn't increase it, he's not going to get a big yield. Okay, so that's the first thing you can look at. Now, let's see what else we have. Any time. There we go. State one way the farmer can increase the carbon dioxide amount without burning anything. Now remember, if we burn something, we create carbon dioxide. Okay, so you can take a piece of wood and you can throw it in the greenhouse and burn it and creates carbon dioxide, but we don't want to do that. So what do you think we can do? Knox, what do you think we can do? What's the easiest thing you think we could do to increase the carbon dioxide levels in a greenhouse?
What about compost?
Compost, but it's going to keep it inside the soil. What do you do? What do you always see? If you see these medical dramas, what do they stick over your nose immediately?
Gas.
Gas. What gas?
Carbon dioxide gas.
Oxygen.
Okay, sure.
Oxygen gas. They put
Yeah.
oxygen gas over you. So why can't you just put carbon dioxide gas in there?
Yeah.
Okay? You get a carbon dioxide, nice big thing full of a gas cylinder, and you pump carbon dioxide in there. Right. So you can do that. Without burning fossil fuels, you can pump carbon dioxide in your greenhouse, seal it nicely, and then you can keep that carbon dioxide in there. Right. Okay. So there's the first thing. Next thing. When is the best time to supply additional carbon dioxide, and why? When is the best time to increase carbon dioxide, and why? Now think about it. In the light phase, okay, we need to take in carbon dioxide through the what? Through the stomata. At night, what does the stomata do? It closes. So when do you want to put carbon dioxide in, right? When the sun is out or when there's a lot of light, Okay, so the more light there is, the more carbon dioxide you can push in, right? And you want to put that. When it becomes dark, the plant doesn't need the carbon dioxide. It's already got it. So it can carry on photosynthesizing in the dark phase. It's already got all the carbon dioxide that it needs. Right, so we put it in during the daytime. Okay, now, let's see what else. I know I've got few questions for you guys. Okay, the farmer is impressed with the difference. Okay, I just put this on. He was impressed with it. But now he wants to improve his roses, okay, to go and show them. Hey, how nice. Now we've got show roses. Okay, so he wants to go show them and win the prize of the flower as soon as I found out what I just did. Okay, there we go. He wants to go and show them off, right? He wants to get them bigger and he wants to win the prizes. Okay, so he says here, name 2 other factors that can change the increase in the growth. Well, let's have a look. First of all, okay, we've got temperature. Now temperature, think about it. If you have temperature, if you are cold, just think about yourself, right? It's becoming winter. Okay, it's becoming winter. You get out of bed. And how do you feel? And it's very cold. Knox, how do you feel when you get out of bed?
Cold.
Tired and stiff, and
cold.
you don't
I
want to
just
move.
don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, you don't want to move. You're hating life, right? That's what the cold does to you, okay? What happens if you've gone to bed and it's extremely hot? How do you feel?
Tired as well.
You're also tired. In the middle of the day, 12 o'clock of the day, how do you guys feel? Like, oh, we got to go back to class after break. Am I right? It's
Definitely.
hot, you're sweaty, you don't feel right, okay? It's too hot. So now think about it. How do you feel mid-morning, 10 o'clock, when it's nice, right? And you've had a swim and everything, how do you feel?
Quite energetic.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I had to do a little graph, and I had to put, let's say, temperature, right? Let's put temp at the bottom, right? And let's say photosynthesis. I'm just going to put photosynthesis on top. Okay. If I increase the temperature, photosynthesis will increase. If I go to a certain point, in other words, if I make it too hot and hotter, what do you think is going to happen? We're going to start getting tired and less photosynthesis. Do you understand how that means? Same with us. Too cold in the morning, not going to do so nicely. When we're at the right temperature, we're strong and hard. When we go too much or too hot, what's going to happen? We don't want to do any work. Okay, that's the first one. And second one, okay, is light. Okay, light. Okay, and photosynthesis. Just trying to get it right. Okay. If I increase the light, I'm going to increase photosynthesis up to a point and no further. You can only take so much light in. No matter how much is beating down on you, you can only take so much light. Okay, so there are the 2 factors that improve the rate of photosynthesis. So hopefully, who was it? Can you remember who asked that question?
Regarding?
The
rate.
The rate of reaction, the rate of photosynthesis.
I can't remember because we've been getting like quite a lot of comments.
Okay, so hopefully I've given you as much information as possible. Now, next week I want you to stay in tune because we are going to do some experiments, right? Now, I've got an experiment where I've taken a leaf, for example. I've taken a nice leaf. There it is. Okay, and I've tried this. I've covered MS, mindset, right, on the leaf. And I'm going to make it photosynthesize. And the part that's covered, we're going to see if I cover the part, if the chloroplast or there's no light on that part, does it still photosynthesize? So we'll do an experiment to see that. Okay, and we're going to look at the rate of reaction by temperature and all of that. Right, so hopefully you're going to join me next week, and hopefully I've given you a couple of things to do, and go study nice and hard. Right, I'll see you soon. Knox.
Thank you very much, Llewellyn.
Pleasure.
Absolutely wonderful show. Mindsetters at home, thank you very much for joining us. I hope that you guys have learned a lot. I just want to say thank you very much to Macmillan for helping us sponsor this show. It's been absolutely a wonderful one, and it just would not have happened without you. I just want to make sure that I remind you guys that, as you saw, we dealt with graphs, so you might want to make sure that you know how to label all your graphs. But secondly, you might also want to read a lot more about carbon dioxide and what is the issue, regarding carbon dioxide and the environment, because you might be asked about that when we deal with photosynthesis. So from myself, Llewellyn, and the rest of the Mindset crew, see you soon.
Cheers.